I don't see him, so I don't see Henry, so, and I don't hear anything, so.
Well, I'm not talking. Do you hear
Oh,
me
there you
now?
go. There you go. I can hear you now. Hey, listen, before we start, where are you? It looks cute
I'm
where you
in
are.
my office, in my house in Los Angeles.
Ah, I see. And so your agreeing to do this interview was based on your like, fabulous Jewiness as opposed to like, the locality of the East Hampton synagogue. You just
Okay.
like the Jews.
So
Who
I
doesn't?
met you once before and
Right.
was delighted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud to be Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
My first job professionally, June 30th, 1970, was at the Guild Hall, the John Drew Guild Hall with the Yale School of Drama. We did a summer of story theater right there. And I was overwhelmed by the beach.
Right. It's the most beautiful beach in the world,
Oh,
right? The Hampton Beach is the most gorgeous beach. I don't care
gorgeous.
where you go. Wait a second. So you're an Ivy Leaguer? Who the hell understood that whole fact about you?
Well,
What a
that was a
catch.
that was
Jewish
a
Ivy League? I mean, are you kidding?
that was difficult for me. I applied to 28 colleges. I got into two. I got into Park University in Missouri. I never
Mhm.
actually met anybody who has gone to Park University in Missouri. And I got into Emerson College in Boston. And then I don't know where I got the nerve. I applied to the Yale School of Drama, got in, got my master's degree in theater, became a member of the repertory theater, left, went to New York for a year, did commercials, a Broadway play that opened and closed in one night, The Lords of Flatbush, went to California, and 2 weeks later got the Fonz.
Wow, that is a trajectory, let's
That's
face it. Like you were this kind of Upper West Side kid. Did you see yourself as a sex symbol? Did you see yourself as a kind of like a, because you for a minute for 10 years, you were like this huge kind of family acceptable sex symbol, right? But it
yes.
was not exactly, it doesn't mesh with your background. Like you weren't raised as such.
No, that's right. I dreamt of being an actor since I was old enough to reason, but I was told that I would not achieve because I failed in everything except lunch. And I just kept my eye on the prize of what I wanted and moved myself steadily forward until I fell into the Fonz and my life was changed.
Was that like a long, arduous process to get cast as the Fonz, or was it a pretty simple thing?
You know what? I auditioned. I walked into the room when I first had my first audition. This was 2 weeks into landing terra firma Los Angeles.
Right.
And every actor I've ever seen on television was in the room and me.
Right.
And I went in, I changed my voice, I changed my body. And I just said to the producers, you know what? Don't look at me. You can't look me in the eye. I just made it up, threw the script
Wow.
up in the air, sauntered out of the room. And on my birthday, October 30th, 1 month after I had arrived,
Scorpio.
I got the call, would you like to join us and play this character?
My goodness.
It was like
Wow.
there was somebody looking over me.
Somebody watching over that fabulous, pivotal thing in your life. So
Yes,
now I want to go back a little bit. Take us to your childhood, your
yes.
parents. What was that like? Was it a very Jewish kind of an environment? Where are they from, your parents?
Okay, my parents escaped Nazi Germany. They came here in 39. Uh,
Wow.
there are two things. There is a plant hanging outside my kitchen, which came from a baby that all these plants were on our windowsill. The original spider plant came out of Germany in a coffin, but Tante Anna was smuggled out of Germany, and at her feet was a spider plant, and everybody got a cutting. I took a cutting from the ones in our house. It's flourishing, and now I've given a cutting to all of my 3 children in their house.
Here's a cutting and never forget. But, yeah.
I have a pocket watch that was smuggled out of Germany when my father and mother first left. They had a 6-week visa from Germany to do work in New York. But my father knew he was not going back. He did not tell my mother that. So they packed, and he kept saying, I think it was in the spring, and he kept saying, pack warmer things. And she would say, why? It's hot in New York. And he said, you know, you never know, the weather could change like that. He took jewelry from his mother. Jewelry from his mother. He put it in a box of chocolate, poured the melted chocolate over each piece, put it under his arm. So when he went through the checkpoints and the Nazis said, do you have anything of value? He said, no, open my bags. I have nothing. And then he sold the jewelry, gave him enough money to start in New York, bought the jewelry back, and I have that pocket watch that came out of Germany encased in chocolate.
My mind is a little blown because I was expecting this to be like a little kind of easy, interview about, the funny aspects of being Jewish. But what you're bringing up is really intense. And I do think, I think it's like, I think that whole thing, all of those immigrants brought with them not only that dreadful story, not only the dread that we all live with, but also, I think it was the basis for our sense of humor. I really do.
You know what? Humor keeps you alive. It really does. I also, with my partner, Lynn Oliver, I write children's novels, and we have written 35 novels together. And we believe that humor is the gateway to the reluctant reader. So I'm right with you on humor.
Right. So now, what are you up to in the time of COVID? How are you coping with it? What's going on with you, the Winkler and Rena Glitter?
About 10 o'clock at night, I become overwhelmed that we have 2 pandemics, a political and a medical, and we don't have a vaccine for either.
Right.
I have Zoom meetings. I have a travel show that we just put together, a game show that we just put together. Lynn Oliver and I are writing the 3rd novel of our latest book, which is middle grade. It's for 10-year-olds from 4th grade to 7th, 8th grade, called Alien Superstar. We write, I just realized this, honestly, we write characters who are on the outside wanting to get in. The other ones, there are 28 books about me as a dyslexic, and they are comedies about Hank Zipser, who lives on 78th Street and Broadway, who went to PS 87, who just happens to be me.
Wow. So tell me about writing. Tell me about the process of writing these books. How does it start?
Writing started as a time filler. Somebody suggested to write children's books about my dyslexia. I said, because I am dyslexic, I think I am stupid. There is no way I'm going to write a book. Introduced me to their friend, Lynn Oliver, who knows everything about children's books. And we met for lunch. I told her about my story. We hatched Hank Zipser, a little boy in the 4th grade. He starts in the 4th grade and graduates into 6th during the series. And now he's in 7 languages.
Is this an impediment to you, this COVID, like the quarantine thing?
What I'm finding is what I can do without. I'm looking around my house thinking, you don't need all this stuff. And I'm a hoarder. I realized I'm a hoarder.
Yeah. Yes.
But I'm still having trouble getting rid of what I know I don't need. So I don't know. I'm in the middle. I'm 1 foot in each camp. But I realize that I want to hug my children and my grandchildren.
Hugging is a problem.
My grandson, August, he's 3. He said, "Papa, can I just touch your shirt?" Oh my God.
Oh gosh. Oh, no.
Well, I have to say that I it's a little early, but can I just say to everybody who is watching, first of all, I wish you only health. The new year is going to be here eventually. And can I just say to you, I hope you have a really healthy new year and so sweet and filled with apples and honey.
Okay, well, this was absolutely divine. And
Yes.
you are like the Obi Fonz Kenobi or something. Obi Fonz Kenobi of Jews. You are the great Jew. I think I've just given you that title, the great one.
It's very heavy. The title is very
the mantle. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, and I'll see you around. I'll see you around the campus.
So, Isaac.
I hope so. Yeah,
I hope so. I'm leaving now.
Okay, thank you so much. You're the greatest.